beautiful souls, beautiful sunshine here with the R Holistic Healer, aka Sonia B. I am back with another prophetic message. I want to just go ahead and give you this message a little early, so that way when I get home I can do what I need to get done. Anyway, if you guys are new to my channel, I just want to say welcome, and for those of you who are returning back, I want to say welcome back. Keep in mind that these energies could be happening now. Some of those energies were happening during 4th of July weekend, and they could be happening next week, 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, near future, month from now. It's going to be different for everybody, and just keep in mind that if the message resonates or whether it doesn't resonate now does not mean that it may not possibly resonate in the near future. So keep that in mind as well too. And if the energies does not resonate with you even in the near future, just pay attention, because it could be happening to the co-workers, it could be happening to family members, it could be happening to, you know, your children, or it could be happening to your spouse, family members, and so on and so on. So keep that in mind as well too. So anyway, I received this message on Saturday. This is like the third time I'm making an attempt to re-record this message. But anyway, with all that being said, let me get straight into the message. So in this dream, imagine if some people are jogging along a trail that's in a not a trail near, not a small trail, but just like a big major trail that, you know, a lot of people kind of jog on or ride their bikes on. So imagine if you find yourself, just imagine somebody's walking along that trail and they're looking for a group of people almost to kind of attach themselves to. Almost to attach themselves to. So if you keep in mind, in this dream I saw it's not only applying to an individual per se, but it's applying to several people, meaning like there's a whole group of people who have been doing this, should I say. So keep in mind that, again, they was on this trail, they were walking, but they was looking for a group to attach themselves with. So as they saw a group coming towards them, they decided to make a U-turn and turn back the same direction that they was coming in. So with all that being said, after they turned back into the opposite direction, the group was getting closer to them. So just as the group was getting closer to the individual, they decided that they were gonna run and start running with this group. So as the group was passing by, this individual or individuals have been kind of almost like masking themselves, disguising themselves is what I'm hearing, and by blending in with the group. But what little do they know, they don't realize that these individual people who was running in this group, they had basically been running for a long time. They had basically went through so many ups and downs, hurdles, loss, you know, whether it be lost in relationships or whether it be, you know, loss of finances, having to rebuild their lives all over again, and just a whole bunch of other things, you know, everybody's situation was different, but they was pretty much dealing with almost like the same, you know, scenarios or whatever the case may be. So anyway, so with all that being said, I basically, I had basically saw that, hold on y'all. I had basically saw that, pretty much that what had happened was these individuals started running with the group. So the group, there was almost like, imagine a group of maybe like 100 people or whatever, and let's just say 75% of the people had made it to a certain point, but then the last 25 of the group members had basically, there became a split in the ground that divided them from the people, from the first 75 group of people. As the ground had divided them, basically what ended up happening was these individuals got stuck kind of like it's almost like the ground not only split apart, but the more that they attempted to try to keep up with this group, what was happening was these individuals, bear with me, y'all. The more these individuals was trying to keep up with this group and try to find a way to keep up with them, even though the ground had splitted them and separated them, in other words, basically what ended up happening was these individuals that were left behind, it almost like the more they attempt to try to catch up with that group, it's almost like the more like they tried to go backwards, back to the direction that they came in originally. They couldn't go there because basically that ground had split apart. So it's almost like divine spirit of light had put them in almost like an isolation is what I'm hearing, and almost like an isolation of breaking, you know, just keeping them from being attached to anything that was stable, should I say, is what I'm also hearing. So with all that being said, these individuals was trying to, it became like a little island that they was on, very small island of space. Just imagine that, very small island that's, you know, broke off in the front, the back, a trail or whatever. And now they're just standing there and trying to figure out how do they get either over or how do they get back over to safe and stable grounds. So basically one individual tries to jump over, but the moment that they jumped over, their foot actually hit the ground and it pushed them further out into like the water, because what I failed to mention was this trail was like near water. So there was water, like let's say on the left side, on the right side it was more solid ground, everything was stable, so the trail again was near water. But anyway, just imagine, you know, that part of that trail breaking off and it becomes a little island. But anyway, with all that being said, so another individual had fell off, and then another individual had tried, because they see the first person had tried it and it wasn't working, so they decided to jump on the side where it was more solid and firm foundation, you know, where basically where the little path in the forest and everything else was at, that was, you know, grounded and stable, unlike where the water was. So basically the individual had end up call himself trying to jump over to where the grass and all the other stuff was. So what ended up happening was basically sorry y'all, I'm just trying to focus here. What ended up happening was basically the individuals had ended up hold on y'all, these individuals had basically ended up they call themselves trying to free themselves from the little island. So what ended up happening was the last individual who tried to make the attempt to jump more so on the stable side, that was more stable and stuff, basically what had ended up happening was that individual fell. They call themselves trying to jump over to the side. So as they tried to jump over to the side, they end up falling down into the water. And as they fell into the water, they fell so deep down into the water. See, so it's more like the more that they try to, it's almost like the more they try to escape or to save themselves, the deeper they dug themselves down. Let's just say the deeper they fell down into the water. So they fell so deep down to the water, because the way I saw it in the dream was, they felt so deep into the water that when they came up to the surface, it took them so long to get back up to the surface. But anyway, when they finally did come back up to the surface, and it was a minute, when they finally made it back up to the surface, they was like trying to pull and hold on to the grass to kind of drag themselves out, as if they had kind of like been to hell and back, in other words. that's the image that I'm seeing, and is what I heard a second ago. But anyway, so with all that being said, just know that for those who are watching my channels, it could be a situation of maybe, you know, people around you, or you could be the individual maybe that have been, you know, trying to, whether it's camouflage or fit in, or trying to basically trying to fit into an area that you weren't almost permitted to go in, is what I'm hearing, is where you weren't permitted to be there, should I say, because if you think about it, they came in the middle of a run trying to fit in. So anyway, with all that being said, basically Divine Spirit of Light said that no one is gonna kind of like get a free ride, in other words. So in other words, it's almost like you have to do the work, because there's spiritual levels to evolve in spiritually, period. So it's not going to be any more of, you know, people trying to come in and benefit off of other people, that basically you're going to find yourself starting from the bottom and working your way up. And that's what the water basically had represented. So it was almost, the ground was a symbolism of being cut off, of cutting you off from what you call yourself trying to attach yourself to, is what I'm hearing. So it's no longer that you can try to fit in and allow somebody else basically to carry your weight. So it's almost like, you know, it's time for you to carry your own weight and carry your own stuff, in other words. So in other words, the island part was representing basically the Divine Spirit of Light is, you know, it's almost like a cutting cords, is what I'm hearing. Cutting cords from any individual that you call yourself trying to attach yourself to, because it's a matter of you falling. It's a matter of an individual falling deep down into the depths of their emotions, their feelings, and really feeling whatever it is that you know, feeling whatever it is that they did not want to feel. If some of you guys are new to the channel, and even those of you guys who have watched a previous video, I did a video some time ago, and I mentioned in the video, whatever it is that you don't want to happen, the opposite is going to happen. So in other words, whatever it is that you're fearing or afraid of, you know, that's what's going to end up, you know, happening, should I say. Because it's almost like whatever you're afraid of, what I'm hearing is God is basically trying to make you, God is basically having you to address whatever issues, whatever issues that may be deep down within the depths of our souls, our spirits. And it's basically like he's going to have us to deal with that energy. So that's what that water was represent. It represents feelings and emotions and so on and so on. So just know, again, that you know, if you stood in your integrity and you done what's right, then you don't have nothing at all to worry about, because you already know what it's been feeling like on this journey, that it's been long and hard. And for those who have been trying to fit in and basically trying to benefit off other people, just know that, you know, a rude awakening is coming, is what I'm hearing. But anyway, with all that being said, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. I don't have any cards to pull for you today because, like I said, I'm out and about running errands. So anyway, with all that being said, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. And with all that being said, I say namaste and much love and much light. Bye.